assembly since we've all been children, and he didn't take any action on it.
I want to ask you one more person. Simcha Felder.
No.
Senator Simcha Felder.
No, wait. Maybe there are some limits. Now you're telling me, you're asking me about, he's messed up and he said, would he take a school choice candidate? Now maybe Hitler. Maybe somebody who says that he's got the final solution to the Jewish question, that he's in favor of school choice. Maybe that we didn't accept. But nobody in New York State would do that.
Right.
And a candidate in New York State wants to get elected.
Don't you want to see a history of a candidate that does community service, a candidate that does go reach out to the people, not somebody that just gets up and screams and hollers all the time and says something.
We try to get a candidate to commit. If he wants to become a school choice party, we want a commitment from the candidate that he or she will introduce such and such a bill, or sponsor such and such a bill, or support such and such. And now, of course, it's too late. Once the candidate gets to Albany, we don't have control, but there is another election in 2 years.
So you would sponsor an incumbent candidate that never did this before?
Well, I couldn't make a blanket statement like that. I couldn't make a statement because, after all, we do allow that people's views will change as new evidence comes to light. For example, if candidates see success with school choice in Arizona, for example, their view of school choice might change, could legitimately change as
It's very deep into politics. I don't think it has to do with the children today anymore. I think there are people out there just politically affiliated through the unions, paid off by the unions, and get votes from the unions, and that's why there's no real school choice.
Gary, I have a question for you. We at the Just Enough Heshy show have been talking about something called Operation Clean Sweep. What we want to do is, and we know it's a dream, and I'm going to ask you this question because we asked it before to other people. We'd like to put up a candidate against every incumbent sitting city councilman, assemblyman, and state senator. We'd like to run somebody against him and wipe out all these old incumbents and just put in new people there. First of all, is it possible? Second of all, does that make sense to you? Isn't it time we changed everybody in the Albany and the state senate and the city council? Isn't it time that we try to maybe fix the system? Because you've been doing this a long time and you haven't seen any major changes, have you?
Correct. That is correct. That's right. The system. It is possible that the system is so entrenched and corrupt that it cannot be fixed through itself. That if you throw out all the incumbents, there will always step forward an equally venal crowd.
Wow.
And so what is being proposed, I wish I knew who it was. It's a prominent rich person is proposing the formation of something called the Madison Fund. And the Madison Fund is going to suggest that the way to fix the system is to do civil disobedience. And that is just refuse to follow follow stupid rules, stupid requirements, stupid regulations. And then the Madison Fund will defend such people if they are if they are arrested or charged, or if they get into any kind of financial trouble. And I wish I remembered who it was, what prominent rich person was proposing fixing the system, not from within, but by the people.
You would need hundreds of millions of dollars for such a project.
Yeah, he's got hundreds of millions.
Now, another question for you. So you support the public schools and helping people out and trying to make the public school system better.
No, I do not support trying to make the public school system better. Since 1983, politicians have been talking about making the public school system better, and all they do is spend more money. And the public school system does not get any better. And children can't wait another 30 or 40 years. A child uses 1 year in ineffective school, and that child can never get that year back.
What is your opinion on private schools like the yeshivas, the Catholic schools, what is your opinion over there? Are they any better? Are they, do they deserve more?
I don't know, because I don't have any children in them. I believe that the parents of the children who are in the schools, they know what's best. They have ways of determining whether the school is satisfying their needs and their children's needs.
You support private schools because
absolutely, that's right. All kinds of schools where the government does not run the show. The parents run the show.
And you're saying they should get tax credits.
Well, either tax credits or vouchers. There are also scholarships. I think one of the programs in Arizona is a scholarship program where corporations can donate money to scholarship funds. They get tax benefits from those donations, and the donations are used to pay tuitions for private schools.
But in New York, we have an assemblywoman, I believe, who's in for choice, but it seems she's not happy with the proposal that's been set forth by Shelley Silver.
I think the proposal in Albany right now is education tax credits. So that would be the parents who spend money on education.
No, I don't understand it, so you can correct me, please. But I understood that people will be able to give donations, corporations' donations, into a central fund, so to speak, and that fund will have a choice on to which schools get it, meeting certain criteria.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know about any scholarship funds in New York State, but it could be. I'm just not.
I don't know if it's even getting technical. I don't know if it's a scholarship fund. I don't know what kind of fund they do call it, but it was introduced.
It's going to be by way of tax credits. That any corporation or an individual who coughs up money will get some tax.
But the only thing is that it will be controlled by a separate. In other words, who's going to decide where the money goes?
Yes,
and who? It's going to be controlled by a handful of cronies of whatever politician.
What is it? Oh, okay. Well, so that's poor. The money should follow the student. The money should be
right, but who's going to figure that out? They have their own corrupt system of figuring that out.
And again, even with your tax credits, it's not a full tax credit anyways, because somebody who sends to a private school, it could be $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, and you're only getting $5,000 or $6,000 or $7,000.
I don't know the details.
But they would never give you more than So again, it would be for the wealthier person who can afford the private schools will get the tax credit. Is that correct?
Well, it's
a national issue, and presidential candidates included in those things all the time anyway.
Because if I want to help out schools, I can give a donation, and then they'll use it to the school that they feel deserves.
So, Gary, I can give a donation directly to a school, and I would get a tax credit for donating to that school money. Is that?
That's always the case, I believe.
I don't think so.
People donate money to private schools.
Charitable donation. Charitable, that's a separate charitable donation is a
The
separate
charitable
issue.
donation is only, you only get a certain
By the way,
percentage
if
of
the
it.
non-for-profits would just start paying their taxes on their properties, we probably wouldn't be in any financial situation in New York whatsoever. Because the church, the synagogues, and everything related to them, whether they have a golf course, whether they have anything, is all tax-free. They don't pay taxes.
But thanks for having me on, and I'll see you guys next week.
Okay, see you leaving a little early. So, Gary,
Contributions.
my question to you is that I understand differently, Neil, that if I donate money to a school, I don't get the full credit. I only get 10%, 15, 20. You don't get the full credit of your donation at the end of the
Wait a
month.
minute, if you make a charitable donation, I think that's what you're talking about.
Correct,
It's a charitable donation.
Right.
Well, whatever the tax laws are regarding charitable donations have nothing to do with school choice.
Correct. So my point is, if I donate specifically for a school for education, shouldn't I get that full credit?
Well, I don't know. I'm here to talk about the tax treatment of charitable donations. I don't know enough about
Because
tax
a
treatment of
donation
charitable
to
donations.
to a school, you would get credit.
Okay.
It comes off your taxes, right?
I don't know.
Yes.
But the school choice party.
I'm talking when we talk about tax credits as a school choice option, a school choice mechanism. We are saying that a parent who spends money for the education of their child will get some kind of credit on their New York State income tax.
Right.
And that's the tax treatment of educational expenditure. There will be direct educational expenditures, even for homeschooling. Well, that's a school choice option. That's a private school choice option right up there with charter schools and.
So you believe basically public school out, private and charter schools.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would like to see the entire public school system closed down, and all that money that is spent on the public school system returned to its rightful owners, the parents, and then the parents can spend the money the way they like. Those are green vouchers. That's my green
Here's a
voucher
problem.
program.
Here's a problem with that.
Yes.
Because right now the state is spending about $13,000 to $19,000 per child to go to public school.
Well, in New York City,
Correct.
20,000 is the average, and the worst school.
My question is now I'm going to give you a check for $20,000 and I don't send my kid to school that year, or I con them. There's a lot of con.
Okay, wait a minute. But one thing at a time. The average is $20,000 a year per student in New York City, and the worst schools get more than $30,000 a year per child, because over the years, when the school does badly, well, let's give it some more money, and then it does badly again. The money is no good. Okay, now you're saying that we should give a parent $20,000. Well, we do it with a voucher instead. The voucher might be worth $20,000, but only if it's redeemed at a school. Now, the voucher couldn't be sold the way food stamps could be on the black market, because who would buy a school voucher? If you have a child, you get a school voucher for free. And if you don't have a child, you wouldn't want a school voucher. So there is no hanky-panky with school vouchers the way there would be with food stamps.
Now I want to go a step further. So basically, all of us citizens in this country who have children, we send them to school, and we want to get the voucher, we can put them in any school. As you know, there's a lot of illegal immigrants whose children have to go to school. And if you just go and if they go to public school, any public school doesn't ask questions and they take the kid in. Mm-hmm. Once the voucher program, it won't happen that way. A lot of those young illegal immigrant children won't be educated, they'll be floating around the streets because nobody will take them.
Well, I don't want to get into my views on so-called, that's my views on immigration, because that will muddy the waters. If my views on immigration disagree with the views of some of your viewers, that might color their view of school choice.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to make my opinion, the details of school choice clear. And
yeah, but your detail is simple. Shut down the whole public school system solves a lot of the problem. Out of 1.1 million kids that I hear go to school with the public school system, to what I understand is about 20% of them are children of illegal immigrants.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh. Okay, so I just want to make sure that, because according to what I understand, every child should not be left behind. Every child should go to school no matter what, and that's the way we work over here. So,
but where did that assumption come from?
The American Constitution.
The U.S. Constitution leaves education to the states. Now, under my scheme, where we close down the public school system, parents are responsible for educating their children, which was the way it was before 1850. And so so-called illegal parents would still be responsible for educating their illegal children, same as legal parents.
And if they don't, as you can see, there was a lot of uneducated till the 1920s or 30s. A lot of kids were just ignorant or uneducated or didn't go to school or they didn't have the money for it. I mean, the richer people did send their kids to school. Today, everybody goes poor, rich, no matter what.
Poor, rich. But you have to recognize that the public school system is failing poor children just terrible. It's unspeakably bad. The worst schools in New York City are just unspeakably dangerous and totally lacking in any learning. I couldn't say that the situation in 1920, the literacy situation in 1920, I wouldn't know if that was better or worse than it is now. You certainly cannot assume that it's better now, simply because everybody is forcibly corralled into what amount to prisons for little children.
Right. Well, it's not prisons, it's babysitting services for little children, and that's what we need sometimes.
Are there bars on the windows?
Is there bars on the windows?
Are the doors locked to prevent escapes?
No, the doors
They are, because children need, and there gets to be an alarm that, right.
Well, we should know. That's why we have roll calls and stuff like that. You're listening to the Just Enough Heshy show, everybody. We're talking to Gary Popkin on the school choice party. Now, Gary, the next election coming up is when?
Well, depends where you live. In New York City, the next final elections will be next year, 2016.
Nothing running now?
Well, some judges might want to get elected this November in New York City, but we have no city council people, no district attorneys, no Brooklyn president, no borough presidents, no mayor, no city council. So
do you support?
None in 2016. We're going to elect a president and vice president of the United States. We're going to elect or re-elect or throw out the entire New York State legislature.
Oh, that would be so nice.
Will all come up for election or re-election.
The whole legislature is going.
The entire New York State legislature, every assembly person, every state senator in 2016. Yes.
So we should, right now, we have the opportunity in 2016 to wipe everybody out and pick a new candidate top to the bottom.
Absolutely. You can replace the entire New York State legislature. Does the school choice party go on a national level for president as well? No, we have never run a candidate. Well, all our candidates have run in New York State, and we have run candidates for New York City Council and for the State Assembly and State Senate, and we might have run someone for Congress way at the beginning in 2000 or 2002. I don't remember. I don't know if he got on the ballot and stayed there. Somebody from Buffalo.
Now, I want to ask you a technical question, Gary. What is the rule to get onto your ballot? Would you need signatures? Do you need...
Yes, well, we follow the election law.
And so my question is, the way I understand it works in elections is, I go outside, I pick up signatures one by one, I knock on doors, I get onto your party ballot, and I'm on the ballot. People can vote for me at the time of election. The first thing, the two big parties, the Democrat and Republican parties, come and they say, "Hey, Gary, all the signatures that your people collected for your party are illegal." Is that correct?
It's true that the petitioning system in New York State opens itself to a lot of litigation. That is true.
So before even election, you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars.
No, not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Usually, for most challenges, are a few $1,000s.
So, but they do, even though, what right do they have to challenge the signatures? Is there such, I mean, most of the time it's not fraud. I mean, they're just claiming fraud, but the truth of the matter is people are knocking on doors, people are signing the applications or the petitions, and these big guys just don't want the school choice party to come against them, so they sue right away.
That's certainly true.
It's not right. Why is that right?
Well, you don't want fraudulent petitions to get fraudulent candidates onto the ballot.
I got
that.
Now,
I don't want to be in a position of defending the New York State election law, but I will tell you that none of our school choice party petitions have been challenged, except maybe in 2005 they were challenged, and the candidates were thrown off the ballot. But aside from that, the school choice party hasn't had any challenges. Other small parties don't have challenges.
If I remember correctly, If I remember correctly, in 2012 or 12 or 13, they did challenge the party candidate, which was my son on your thing. I mean, we won.
School choice.
They challenged this in court, and we beat them.
And your son is who?
Abraham Tischler. He ran for
school choice
candidate.
He was challenged.
He was challenged, I think, by Heiken Simcha Felder.
Oh, okay.
And we actually won the
challenge. Oh, how much did it cost you in legal fees?
I think it was about $10,000-12,000.
That much.
Not that I've heard, but in most states, the way I understand is to get on the ballot, all you have to do is pay a fee, and you're automatically a candidate.
There are a lot of different ways of getting onto the ballot. In one state, you might have to put up a $5,000 bond to get onto the ballot, and then if you get a sufficient number of votes, you get your $5,000 back. Mm-hmm. So that's just a scheme to discourage frivolous candidacies, candidates who have no support. There are different methods in different states.
So if I'm a poor person that wants to make a change, that wants his voice heard, I cannot get on the ballot 99%.
No, well, I think that those states that allow for this bond procedure also have a petitioning procedure. So you can do that, but it might be cheaper just to round up $5,000 from some of your friends, relatives, and your campaign supporters. My goodness, if your campaign can't raise $5,000 in donations, then what kind of support does that show from the public?
But today, in the world of the technology, all I need is to get my name on the ballot, and I can go on YouTube and Facebook and a couple of news programs, and millions of people will see my face, and I can get the word out. All I have to do is get my opinion and word out. The way I understand it today, I have to spend so much money to get my word out. To what I understand is Hillary Clinton will be spending over $1 billion to get her word out to run for president. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that a waste of money?
Well, that depends on how much how much people in the U.S. spend on popcorn and cotton candy each year. I'll bet that's many multiples.
I got that, but I'd rather spend money on movies and popcorn and so on than having a lady that has all the opportunity to go on YouTube or Facebook, or if the opinion is nicely, if the news wants to support their opinion. And according to what I understand is, if you interview one candidate, you must interview all the candidates, right? It's equal. What is that called again?
Equal time doctrine that was thrown out in 1973.
So it doesn't work. You can interview one candidate and the rest of the candidates.
Well, you look at the so-called cable news programs. You look at Fox News or CNN. They don't get equal time. They don't have to get equal time. they're very opinionated. No, there's no equal time.
Wow.
There's competitive networks. That's how different voices get heard.
Which opinion is better, CNN or Fox?
Oh, I'm not going to comment on that because they're both very slanted, very ideological. And I'm not. Yes, you find people who will apologize. Well, as for example, Rush Limbaugh is a terrible example. I mean, he's just an apologist for Republicans. I mean, even when Republicans are really to blame, of course, liberals are mostly to blame for all the troubles we've got.
Oh, wow.
But Republicans sometimes do.
I hate liberals.
But Republicans are sometimes at fault also. But they just apologize. They apologize.
So, Gary, I want to ask you a question. The next election that's coming up in 2016, we're going to be running a whole new assembly and a whole new Senate.
Correct.
Are you going to go out there and have every single seat representing by the school choice party? Is the school choice party going to have a candidate running in every single assembly district and every Senate district?
No.
Why?
We don't have the resources to reach into Chautauqua County and Clinton County and...
Okay, but what about New York City? What about New York City?
We don't have the resources to reach every assembly district in New York City. Even in Brooklyn, we've got, I think there are 21 assembly districts.
So basically the Democrats and the Republicans again are going to be able to...
Oh, there's a load of parties, aside from Republicans, Democrats, conservatives.
Yeah, but the school choice party...
Independence Party,
yeah, but the
Working Families
school choice party has a very good reputation.
The Women's Equality Party, can I tell you my joke about the Women's Equality Party?
Please tell us.
It's a brand new party.
Go ahead.
Brand new party, and they put up a candidate for governor. They put up a candidate for governor in the last gubernatorial election. When was that? 2014, I guess.
Yeah.
Was that right? Yeah, 2014.
Yeah,
last year. Yeah. And so did they put up some prominent women like Betsy McCoy? Betsy McCoy was a lieutenant governor of New York State once. Or what about that teacher woman? Zephyr Teacher. Do you remember her from last year? Did they nominate a woman? No, they nominated Andrew Cuomo.
Isn't that wrong? Isn't that wrong? Isn't that wrong?
Oh man, that was so wrong. I didn't think any woman would fall to that just because he called the party the Women's Equality Party and nominated himself.
Shouldn't it be?
But indeed, 51,000 women fell for it.
But Gary, shouldn't it be illegal to be on more than one ballot?
Well, that's it. There are many states that limit a candidate to a single party, and there has been for many years agitation in New York State to eliminate this cross-endorsement feature.
Right, because Heiken on one of the last elections, they nominated him for the Democratic Party, and he was nominated for the Republican Party. I mean, it's like he runs unopposed no matter what. I mean, it's just crazy.
Well, that's because nobody's stepping up the bat.
It doesn't make a difference, but don't have other parties use this one guy. And then when you do run against him, I remember in the last campaign that we ran against Heiken for the assembly seat, he ran on both parties, and we challenged him because he challenged us, and we actually got him knocked off, if I'm correct, on the Conservative Party and the Republican Party. And the judge who was sitting there at the time, Schmidt, said, well, I can't rule in this case for Heiken because Heiken nominated me for my judgeship, so I'm scared to rule on the case. Isn't that incorrect? You become a judge, you're supposed to rule on every case, no matter what.
No, but if he has a bias, I can't believe he was honest enough to say that even.
Did he recuse himself?
No, because we explained to him, we said, we understand as a Democrat, we don't want you to knock him off, but as a Republican, you are not nominated as a Republican. This was a Republican challenge to him.
Did he recuse himself?
No, he did not.
Oh, dear.
And we ended up winning the case against Heiken because showing that, hey, he was wrong and his signatures were not good.
Okay. The method of appointing or electing judges is a very touchy business. There is no good way to get judges.
There's a lot of backroom
that's right.
Let's be honest.
But it's all petty stuff. Right? I've been in the back room when they're saying if you serve on a Friday afternoon, you can't. Some of these candidates serve your petitions on a Friday afternoon, and you have 2 days to answer back. And if you don't do it in time, you automatically lose the case.
That's not the point we're talking about. No. We're talking about the actual elections and selections of judges. Okay? The backroom deals that are made to get somebody even noticed are tremendous. I mean, what do you think Sheldon Silver did all the time? He was pulling strings on who should be eligible to be in judgeship.
Is that correct, Gary?
Sure, he had to give the nod.
There was a different. There have been some suggestions about how to improve the quality of judges, because if judges are appointed, then we have these kinds of backroom deals. If they're elected, then it becomes just a popularity contest.
Politician.
And so there have been schemes to involve supposedly independent bar associations that are supposed to make recommendations based on the quality of the judge's intellect. And I don't know,
There's no independent anything.
I disagree with you. I believe anybody should be able to run for a judge, but you got to pass the test. If you pass the test, like if you want to be a notary or you want to be an expediter or whatever it is, you take a certain test. If you pass the test, like to be a cop, you pass the test, then you can move up to be a sergeant or lieutenant or so on. Same thing as a judge. You take the test. If you pass your test, then you can run for this spot as a judge. Not that anybody, not even an independent bar association, because I believe there'll be backroom deals and so on over there.
For sure. We'll take your advice. We're under advisement.
Thank you.
And we appreciate your input.
Isn't there such a test right now? Isn't it called the bar exam?
Yeah.
But that's to be a lawyer. And just because you're a lawyer doesn't make you a judge. Right, because half of those lawyers are a bunch of idiots. Most lawyers that I speak to, I don't mean to knock them, are actually they only know how to pass a test, but they don't know how to write motions. They don't know how to represent.
They don't know how to implement.
They don't know how to do it. Half of them suck you. They're
not interested.
Right, they're just good salesmen, and they don't care to represent you properly. And when they get to be a judge, they just read their rules, and they don't even know how to do it like that. We're coming to the end of our show, guys. You are very interesting, and I like you very much. And I think I want to talk to you about the next election. That I have some interesting candidates for the school choice party with money that we'd like to run up against Eichenfelder and Greenfeld in the next election.
Great.
Excellent. What show did these people listen to that they had a good time tonight?
Yeah, you guys are listening to the Just Enough Heshy show. We're on Monday and Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m., which means we'll be back tomorrow. Get us on Facebook, like our page, Just Enough Heshy. Follow us, hashtag Just Enough Heshy on Twitter. See us live on YouTube. You can rewatch our shows. You can email us at justenoughheshy@gmail.com. I feel like he was very good. He was very informative and very knowledgeable.
Well, that's what he is. He is the head of the party, and anybody who wants to get in touch with you, Gary, how do we do that?
Yeah. Oh, let's see. Maybe just look for me on Facebook. Just send me a message on Facebook. This is Gary Popkin. It's GaryPopkin.
Well, or you can email the Just Enough Heshy show, and we'll get you in touch with Gary or send you over something. I'm going to say a goodbye quote today, and I'd like you all to hear it. How would your life be different if you stopped allowing other people to dilute or poison your day with their words or opinions of you or what you love or do or think? Let today be the day you stand strong in the truth of your beauty and journey through the day without attachments to validation of others. My point here is, don't let anybody else knock you. Don't commit suicide because your parents say don't be religious or be religious. Be honest with yourself. Love yourself. Know that this is a tough life, a hard life, but you know what? It's a good life. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow night on the Just Enough Heshy show. I love you all.